Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men that are doing his work in sincerity and in truth around the four corners of the earth. And much love to the 1/3 and the innumerable believers out there. Of you Israelites, to you all I say Shalom. I'm the brother Yeshaya, and I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. All right. Um, you know, we will have servants and slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Let me say that again. We will, as Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, will have slaves of other nations as rulers in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So there's a doctrine going out. I'm not going to get into all of that, but there's a doctrine going out that's basically saying that all of the, Bishop Nathaniel of IUIC said that all of the, he's using the scripture to say that all the nations are going to ultimately be destroyed. Okay, so you're telling me there are only going to be Israelites around forever in the kingdom of heaven, and that's not biblical. You see, and this is why you have to beware of the things you're being taught. Okay, and the only, and I'm going to get this first. I wasn't even intending to get this, but to prove the point, because the Lord would have said this about all the nations when he made this sentence using the book of Obadiah. So there's only one nation of people who will be completely destroyed, which are the Edomites, right? The so-called white nation. This is Obadiah 1 and 18. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Those are the northern and the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the house of Esau for stubble. That's the so-called white people, not according to your skin color, but if you are a descendant of Esau, Edom. It says you're going to be for stubble, while Jacob and Joseph are going to be on fire. And this is a spiritual fire. This is not saying like you're going to be burned up. It's saying that Esau is going to be stubble. He's going to be nothing. He's going to be ground to dust. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And we're going to have spiritual power and be completely ruling over them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Right? So the Edomites are the ones who are going to be completely destroyed. And that's because, so now, why is the Most High destroying the Edomites and not the other nations? It's because the Edomites were created with a purpose, just like we were created with a purpose, right? We always talk about how you usually have one or two main characters in a movie, and the rest are just extras. Okay, so the nation of Israel was set to be the protagonist of the movie. That's what it's called when you're the character that, I forget exactly how it's defined, but it's the character that everybody's rooting for, essentially. Even though we know that's not the case here in Babylon, that's supposed to be the good guy who goes through the trials, who has his situation, who has difficulties, okay? And then you're still rooting for him to overcome in the end, right? I'm going to get the etymology. Protagonist says the principal character in a story or drama, actor who plays the chief or first part. So the Israelites are the protagonist of this story of life, of this story of America, of this story of Babylon, of the story of the Bible. And that's something that people got to understand. The protagonists of the Bible are the Israelites. So even though the people can't see it right now, right? They might be looking from a different angle, a different vantage point, but the protagonist the whole time has always been the Israelites. Even when the Israelites were in slavery, even when you were down bad, even while you're living in ghettos and locked up in prisons, you are still the protagonist of the story. If you see the protagonist get locked up, you start to feel bad for the protagonist, and you think, how is he going to get out of this situation? Okay, if you see him going to slavery, you seen 12 Years a Slave, you were rooting for the main character to eventually get out of slavery. So Israelites are the protagonist of the Bible. They are God's protagonists, Yahweh's protagonist, okay? And the antagonist is the individual who's usually trying to, let me get it. But antagonist is who the Edomites will be. All right, those are the ones who ultimately trying to destroy us, right? Yep, the word antagonist comes from the Greek word antagonistus, meaning opponent or competitor. Okay, so this is a compound of anti, which means against, and agonistes, combatant. Okay, so the antagonist of this story is Esau Edom, the so-called white nation. So the Heavenly Father is going to destroy the antagonist of this story is because his purpose of creation was just to combat us, was to be opponents to us and to the world. Right? And what happened? What do you want to happen in the end? You want the antagonist to die. You can't wait. You're like, man, I can't wait till that dude get it. You know? So this is, we always talk about, compare this to a movie. You can't wait till the antagonist gets taken out. So the rest of the nations are characters in this plot. The rest of the nations are accessories to this plot. And so what are we going to do with those accessories? Okay, those accessories are going to be used as handmaids, as servants. Okay, and honestly, and this, I'm gonna say this in all, and so you can receive it, right? They're gonna have hardcore bondage for 1,000 years, right? It says in Revelation 20th chapter, that we're gonna reign with Hamashiach for 1,000 years. That's the full day that we're going to be able to rule over the nations, rule over the so-called Chinese, rule over the so-called Japanese, rule over the so-called Arab, rule over the so-called African, you know, all the rule over the so-called Pacific Islanders, all of these different nations. We're going to have 1,000 years, one full day in the eyes of the Most High to rule over these people. Okay, and then they're still going to be our servants. They're just going to be happy. They're gonna get their land back. They're gonna be in a rejoicing state because they're not gonna be oppressed anymore. So they're still gonna be ourselves. When we go into restaurants and we want food, they're still gonna take care of us and cater to us. Except they're gonna have a level of happiness. They're gonna be happy to serve the nation of Israel. But first, we have to beat that mentality into them, and we have to get rid of all the wickedness on earth. We have to clean this place up. So let me get some scriptures here. And some of the brothers in the chat was talking about this yesterday, so it was in my spirit to do a lesson on it. This is Isaiah 61:5. It says, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. Right? What does that mean? Strangers stand and feed your flocks. It means they're going to take care of our cattle. Our animals are going to need feeding, and the barns are going to have to be kept and cleaned. They're going to be the ones to do it. This is a future prophecy. Okay? All right, this is a future prophecy because at the time, right, when you had the Babylonian Assyrian captivities, we weren't ruling anything. We didn't have any goods. We didn't have any flocks. We still don't have flocks today, and this is a prophecy about the future. So, if that's the case, when is this going to happen? This is going to be in the kingdom of heaven after the Israelites are ruling. Okay, it says the sons of the alien. Alien just means stranger or foreigner. That's all the word alien means, right? They make you think it's all bugged out dudes with green eyes and all of this kind of stuff. That just means stranger. But the Lord is coming on a so-called UFO. That's a fact. Okay, they want you to think that it's these aliens, but the Lord is a fearful power. He's coming with the angels in those UFOs, man. Right, which are the chariots of Israel. It says, but ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Which ministers, right? So we gonna be the priest of the Lord. We gonna serve Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, right? It says, so they're gonna be ministers unto us. They're gonna serve us. It says, ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. So we gonna eat the riches. That means whatever riches they have, whether that be gold, whether that be stones, whether that be animals, flocks, clothing, fabrics, we're gonna get all of those riches, man. And they're gonna deliver it to us. It says we're gonna boast ourselves in their glory. Okay. It says for your shame. So the Lord even given us a reason why he's going to do this for us. For your shame, ye shall have double. So all of the shameful things they put us through, the Lord is going to double it for us, man. And for confusion, they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. So the Lord is is going to give us double for all of the shame that we had. He's going to give us everlasting joy. All right. It says, for I, the Lord, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Right. So he repeats that covenant he's making in Hebrews, the 8th chapter. Right. As verses 7 on down, he lets us know that he's making a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, which are the Israelites. He didn't say the house of Edom. He didn't say the house of Moab. He didn't say the house of Ashur, right? He didn't say the house of Ishmael. He said the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? He said he's going to work and make an everlasting covenant. So we're going to rule forever, man. It says, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed. So right now, our seed is scattered everywhere. You got Israelites everywhere that look like the different nations, but the Lord is going to recover us and redeem us from amongst those people, right? And they're going to show that we're the blessed ones, right? Men of the Lord are going to be people, the elect of Yahweh Shem Shai are going to receive new bodies, right? And we're going to be ruling in the kingdom of heaven, and our people are going to be blessed. But the true Gentiles, the heathen foreigners, the heathen, are going to be our servants, okay? This is Isaiah 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the king shall minister unto thee. So I was going to originally write this. What kingdom has ever been built without slaves or servants? I'll wait. You can't name one. And then, ironically, those slaves and servants were always us. And people never want to acknowledge that. The greatness of your kingdom, I don't care where you live, I don't care who you are, Israelites built it. And you ain't got to believe that you can say, well, look, no, this society was built by these people who look like this. They were Israelites. Those are Israelite foreigners. Whatever else, it says there is no nation that has not had of our spoils. And the spoil of war is servitude, and I'm going to get that soon. The spoil of war is servitude and captivity, having slaves, man. Okay? There's never been one kingdom built without servants. So y'all want our kingdom to just be built without servants. So we've been slaves to all of y'all. Now the kingdom of Israel, now since we got spiritual power, y'all just wanted to become beautiful and then everything just all good. And there's no payback or recompense for all the wickedness that all these people have done unto our people. Y'all just get away with it. It don't work like that. And then the first captivity was in Egypt, right? And now the last one is in the modern day Egypt, America. We've been slaves since the beginning. Slaving for y'all, man. But now y'all can't be our slaves. So we've been slaves since the beginning of time. Thousands of years, man. Ain't no millions. The Edomite done lied to y'all. We've been slaves for thousands of years to all of the people of the world. But now y'all can't be our slaves for one day. For 1,000 years, y'all can't be our slaves. That's unfair. Shit, the Lord even showing mercy with that. But the thing is, we're gonna rule with that rod of iron. We're gonna complete rigor and vigor when y'all are slaves. So it's gonna be fair. But the Lord is even, he could have made y'all slaves again for 12,000, 13,000 years, but he's giving us one full day, which lets you know he's really having mercy on you nations, man. All right. So it says sons of strangers are going to build up our walls. This is a future prophecy. The nation of Israel, right? Our walls have not been, we don't even got walls yet. So we ain't got walls to build up. We don't even have a place of safety yet. But see, and what about Jerusalem? Were those built by strangers? The walls over there, the place of Jerusalem, was that built up by another nation? Well, you got the Israelis over there, right? The so-called JOOs, they lying to y'all. That's not their land. So when we go back over there, we're going to get that built up nice and right. And guess what? The so-called JOOs are going to help do it. They're going to be our servants too. It says, and their kings shall minister unto thee. So y'all prime ministers, y'all presidents, y'all kings, y'all sheiks, all of them are going to be our ministers. Your top person is going to be our slave. It says, for in my wrath I shall smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee. So this is where you see that protagonist story, right? In his wrath he smote us. So the Most High was upset at us, so he made us your slaves because he was angry with us. But in his mercy, in his favor, he's going to have mercy on us. He's going to make sure that y'all serve us. Verse 11, therefore my gate shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring in unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. We're going to leave our doors open just so y'all can bring us tribute and gifts. Do you see what the Most High is saying? He want the gates open so you can't never come to the gates of Jerusalem and be like, well, Lord, I couldn't bring these precious things because when I came, the gates were closed. Nah, you go ahead and bring that in, baby boy. Hey, like they say in church, all the doors of the church are open. You know, all of the doors to the church of Jerusalem are open. Go and bring them stones. We need that. Bring that gold. We need that. Bring that silk. We need that. You know, bring all of that, man. Them fine fabrics, we need that. And y'all gonna be putting in that work for us, man. They're gonna be glad to serve us. They're gonna be glad saying, Lord, look what I found. I found this precious sapphire here. I wanted you to have it. You know? It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So let somebody try to buck up. They're gonna be taken out immediately, man. Immediately. We're gonna be running through people, man. It said that nation shall perish. So, hey, man, if you want to get taken out, we'll take out, the Lord going to give us the power to take out you and your people. So it said you're going to perish. I'm going to read, the brother put in the NET, Isaiah 60:6. It says, camel caravans will cover your roads. Wow. Young camels from Midian and Ephah. Right? So he's basically saying they're coming in droves to deliver stuff to us, man. It says all the merchants of Sheba will come bringing gold and incense and singing praises to the Lord. You see that? So the other nations are going to come bringing gold and incense. Yeah, we need them smell goods, man. We need all that incense, man. We need all that resin, all that frankincense and myrrh. We need that, man. Call on y'all about Shemel Shai. And it says, and singing praise to the Lord. They're going to be praising the Lord while can you imagine this? People that were serving idol gods, serving Buddha and Jesus Christ, are going to be singing praises to Yahweh Shemel Shai while they bring us gold and incense. Man, the Lord is greatly to be feared and greatly to be praised. But we need our slaves, man. Trying to take away our birthright of having service. Nah, that belongs unto us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Lord willing, Lord willing, we do be those men. But technically, we know that this is going to happen. We know that we Israelites. So, I'm saying Lord willing, just because we out of sincerity, right? But technically, Lord willing, this is a prophecy that all Israelites are going to receive, right? You're going to receive the benefits of having the other nations bring you things, man. Shit, for you 2/3, man, after 1,000 years, y'all just might see the benefits of it. But you still going to be able to go to a store and a Moabite, you take your woman to get her nails done. A Moabite, he ain't going to have his wife just do your nails. They're going to come down, they're going to bow to you. Hey, what do you need? What color you want? Oh, yeah, they're going to happy to be there. They're going to be bowing to you. You might come in, they might make you food first. Your woman's nail experience is going to be completely different in the kingdom of heaven. You ain't going to get sneered and scorned when you walk up in there, right? Ain't none of that going to happen. Okay? But Isaiah 45:14, it says, thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, right? Even these so-called Hamites, the so-called Africans, which are the Hamites. Men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. What does that mean? That means thine means yours. It says men of stature. So it says they shall be yours. It don't say what they have shall be yours. They are going to be our possessions. It says they shall come after thee, in chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. That hasn't happened in history where you get a group of Africans coming, so-called Africans coming to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in chains. And they shall fall down unto thee, they shall make supplication unto thee, which means they're going to be begging. They're going to be giving prayers. Surely the Most High is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. They're going to be saying that your God is the true God, man. You guys are the real rulers of the earth. All right. This is Psalm 72:10 through 11 in the NLT. It says, the western kings of Tarshish and other distant lands will bring him tribute. The eastern kings of Sheba and Seba will bring him gifts. All kings will bow before him, and all nations will serve him. You see, they're gonna be coming after even Yahushua gonna have servants and slaves, and they're gonna be bringing him things. But this is gonna be for the kings of it, for the people of Israel, man. You know. And I got a few more verses I want to get. I got some New Testament ones too, but I wanted to get the word captivity. It says the word captivity comes from the Latin captivitas, which means the state of being taken prisoner. And the etymology says caught, taken prisoner, to take hold or to seize. And it also says the figurative sense of subjection, bondage, and servitude. So now with that said, we always talk about Revelation 13 and 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So the so-called white man and these other nations have taken us into bondage, have taken us into servitude. They took hold on us. It says they're gonna go to being taken in bondage. This is the New Testament. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is big for that. They're gonna be our number one slave in the kingdom. It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So why would the saints, so y'all think y'all know who the saints are in these Christian churches. Why are the saints so patient and faithful for the day where they have captive slaves? Why are the saints so patient and have so much full of faith that they're going to kill other people with the sword? Right? The Lord has spoken it, man. This is the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. Revelation 2 and 27. Actually 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works into the end, to him will I give power over the nations. You see that? He said he's going to give us power. If we keep his word into the end, he's going to give us power to rule over these other people. This is in red letter. This is who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Why is he saying this if he's only coming for peace? He's coming for peace to the elect of Israel, man. It says, and he shall rule over them with a rod of iron. So we're not just going to rule. We're going to rule with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. So they're going to be broken to shivers. They're going to be completely taken out. They're going to be, in that sense, they're going to be broken down and to bits to where they can serve us in the way that we want them to. Right? This is 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Right? So it's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation. And part of that tribulation is going to be slavery, man. All right? And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahushua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. You know, and so it says rest with us. And how do we go get our rest, man? Through having slaves. That's a part of the rest. You ain't got to work the same way like you used to. It says we're going to long enjoy the work of our hands. So you ain't going to have to get up and be at a 9 to 5. They going to have to work for us, man. And it says, Lord willing, I put up this video clip. This comedian said, you know what? I realized I don't really got a problem with slavery. I got a problem with me being a slave. He said, say, for instance, if the government said tomorrow, you know, we're bringing slavery back. And then he was like, well, if they said blacks, you know, for obvious reasons, you're exempt. He's going to say, well, let's consider this. He said, you know, everybody need a little extra work around the house. You see, so that lets you know slavery is okay. It's just that nobody wants to be in slavery, but they want us in slavery. This lets you know Jake want to be rulers too, man. They don't give a damn about these other people, but they just been destroyed by Esau, Edom so much that they think slavery is a problem.
I'm not really against slavery. Yeah. I did a lot of thinking and I realized what I'm actually against is the chance of me being a slave. That's what I actually have the energy to stop from happening, right? If they announced that they were bringing slavery back next month, right, because Elon said it was more efficient. And in the press conference, they were like, you know, for obvious reasons, black people don't have to do this one. I would be like, well, let's hear all the details before we jump to conclusions. Right?
Right. So I'm gonna bring this banger out. I gotta give credit to that. Elder Yashwamba had this one. He says Proverbs 14-28 in the NLT says, "A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing." Hey man, call out y'all about Shema Shah. A prince without subjects has nothing. So if you don't got no servants and slaves, you ain't got nothing. You know what Bar say the other day? Bar was like, he said you ain't gonna have to be nice to them. None of that. They gonna be like, hey yo, bring the car around. You know what I'm saying? Hey yo, clean that. I said I'm gonna have a damn servant. His job is every day is gonna clean the goddamn grout out of, you know, in your bathroom. Sometimes you gotta clean your bathroom, get the little grout in between the seams. That's gonna be that nigga daily job. Every day is gonna be one of your tasks. Come in there and get that toothbrush and make sure ain't not a speck in there. We got slaves for everything. We got slaves that clean your shoes. You got slaves that for every purpose. You got a slave. Hey man, you even in the book of, in Coming to America, her job was to wash his testes every day. She said the royal penis is clean, Your Highness. You see, that was her daily job. So it's gonna be slaves and handmaids for everything you could possibly think of, brothers. You see, and now how glorious is that? That's why we got to give praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai. When you read Isaiah 14, it says we gonna oppress them that have oppressed us, and they gonna be our servants and handmaids, man. So it's gonna be men and women that's gonna be serving us, right? Isaiah 49 and verse 22-23, just so you can understand that it's not just going to be just the common folk, it's going to be your higher ups. It says, "Thus said the Lord power, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. And the kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Shema Shai, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me." You see, so we waiting for Yahweh Shema Shai. And he says their kings are gonna be nursing fathers. I mean, they're gonna be taking care of us. Their queens are gonna be our nursing mothers. They're rulers of their people. They're gonna be taking care of us and our households and our children. All of these things are gonna happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, I'm gonna get this last verse and I'm gonna wrap it up. This is Jeremiah 30:16. It says, "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries. Every one of them shall go into captivity." Right? Every one of them shall be a slave. Every one of them shall be a bondman and a servant and a handmaid. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. All they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You see? So the Lord says every one of them shall go into captivity, and they shall be a spoil. So when you talk about spoils of war, those men end up becoming your slaves. Those women end up becoming your servants. And even if you want to take the woman as your own, they do. That's a part of war, man. And he said gonna give us to a prey. So we can do it. You can do whatever you want with prey, man. When a lion predator grab up a gazelle, he bite him by the neck and drag his ass. He do whatever you want with him, man. If he want to divide it with if the wife come back and she want to divide it with the rest of the lions, she do that. If she want to eat it herself, she do that. It says, "For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after." So the Lord said, this is the reason why. He said he's going to heal our wounds, because it was a great wound serving you people, being beat, being maimed, seeing our children being killed and our wives sold off. The Lord said he going to heal us of that by making you our servants. And they called us an outcast, and we were God's chosen people. They say this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Then nobody want to be an Israelite. Nobody want to be so-called black or Hispanic when it really comes down to it. Y'all love our food. Y'all love how we dance. Y'all love how we sing. Y'all love our culture. Y'all love how we play sports. But y'all don't want to seek after us. Y'all don't want to be us, man. So, hey, it's okay. We glad y'all don't want to be us, because your best thing you're going to want to be is an Israelite soon. Everybody's going to want to be an Israelite soon, man. You're going to wish you were an Israelite. Not only that, you're going to wish you were an elect of the nation of Israel. And I pray, Lord willing, we be at that number. So, hey, I'm going to wrap it up with that. We will have slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Gladly. I need my slaves. We all do, man. Yahweh Shah need his slaves, man. So with that, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles and